All right, guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about the difference between a Ptin and an Efin. So let's get started. All right, guys, so I want to quickly walk you through the differences between a Ptin and an Efin and why you need these numbers if you are starting your tax business or if you plan to prepare taxes for money. Okay, so the very first thing that you want to understand is what are they? What do they stand for, right? So a Ptin is a prepared tax identification number. And this number, the Internal Revenue Service issues you. I always have issues every time I try to do a video, but we're gonna keep going. This is the number that the Internal Revenue Service issues you so that you can be identified for every tax return that you prepare for compensation, right? It takes about 15 minutes to apply. And so what I wanna do right now is just to quickly show you how to register for your Ptin. So let me share my screen with you guys. All right. Put on my handy dandy glasses because I can't see. All right, so what you want to navigate to, honestly, you can type in Ptin in the search field of Google, and the very first search result should be the irs.gov. So it's going to go over the Ptin requirements for tax return preparers, right? So you have to renew your prepared tax identification number every single year. Now, the IRS, they go through litigation on charging, not charging. They lost litigation, I believe, a few years ago, and the prepared tax identification number was actually free. Before that, it was like a nominal fee of $37. So this can and probably will change because Internal Revenue Service is always going back and forth with either charging for a Ptin or making it free. So depending on when you actually sign up, it may cost or it may be free, okay? So don't be alarmed if you are asked to pay a nominal fee. Normally it's gonna be around $30 to $40. So what you want to do, you want to go through this checklist to get started. So before you can actually begin your Ptin application, you want to make sure that you have this list available, okay? So you do want to have your social security number, personal information, name, mailing address, date of birth, your business information, name, mailing address, telephone number. Now, I get a common question is, Krista, do I have to be incorporated to get my Ptin? And no, you do not need to be incorporated. You don't have to have like a formal filing business name, right? You can actually, your business information can just be your name. Okay, previous year's individual tax return, because this is a prepared tax identification number, this is your identifier number, they do need all of this information to identify you, right? So they can give you this number. If you have any felony convictions, you want to explain these felony convictions. So it says felony convictions and discrepancies with your federal tax obligations, they actually may affect your ability to obtain a Ptin. So you do want to take that into consideration. Some people that have maybe certain felonies with regards to, financial services might have a harder time getting approved for a Ptin and an Efin. But go ahead with it anyway and try, right? That's all I can tell people because I do get this question. Somebody will message me. They'll say, hey, Crystal, I have a felony. Do you think I will get approved? And I would just say, guys, just go for it. Just try it. You do want to understand that you might get declined for a Ptin as well as an Efin. So it says explanation for problems with your U.S. individual or business tax obligations. So again, you are, applying to be a preparer for the Internal Revenue Service, and it'll be ironic if they grant you this Ptin and you have issues yourself, right, with your taxes. So the IRS is definitely going to do a due diligence check on you to make sure that you are caught up with your taxes. And again, this is another question that I get, like, Krista, I owe taxes, I haven't filed taxes. Do you think I will get approved or declined? And I always just say, go by the rules, right? So if you do need to file your taxes, go ahead and get them filed. If you do owe, as long as you're not delinquent, then you should be fine. So get on a payment plan, right? Pay what you can to the Internal Revenue Service on your tax debt so that in their eyes, you aren't woefully neglectful. Okay, so it says, if applicable, any US-based professional certification information. So if you're a CPA, attorney, an EA, or an enrolled retirement plan agent, if you're a certified acceptance agent or state license, including certification number, jurisdiction of issuance, and expiration date. So you do want to give them any licensures that you hold or any credentials that you hold so they can make that a note within your Ptin account. So the very first thing that you are going to do once you have all this information is you're going to create your account, right? So you're going to create your account by providing your name, email address, and a security question information. The system will then email you your temporary passcode. Then you're going to apply for your Ptin. So you're going to complete the application, providing all of your personal information and information about your previous year's tax returns, as well as your professional credentials. And you're going to get your Ptin, right? Everything will be submitted to you online. You're going to get your Ptin online, right? So let me show you what the Ptin portal looks like. Oh, it timed out. Okay, so let me log back in. All right, so this is what the Ptin portal looks like. I have my Ptin blurred out so you guys can't see that, but your Ptin number is going to be over here, and you can actually renew in this portal. So right now, my Ptin still says active, so it's not letting me renew it right now, but as soon as, towards, the end of December, this is when it expires, 12/31/2020, I can go in and actually renew it. I'm not sure why it doesn't have like a renew button now. Normally you can, it said on their website that they are taking renewals right now, but for some reason it's not showing under my profile just yet. But no worries, I'll come back in here in December. I will check it, and then it's going to say that I need to renew, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through the renewal process, right? You can view your messages. So the IRS sends you messages, and they're pretty generic messages, such as, sign up for their annual filing season program. They'll let you know that your Ptin has expired, so you can go ahead and renew that. So all of your messages from the Internal Revenue Service will be here. And then the other thing that you're going to be able to see within your Ptin portal is your continuing education credits, right? So when you buy, courses online that are registered as an official, IRS CPE provider or CE provider, those continuing education credits is going to populate down here. Now, your education credits, your CE credits are only applicable if you have a license, right? So if you are an enrolled agent or a CPA, you have very specific CE requirements that you must achieve every single year, right, to actually keep your license active. So you want to just make sure that when you are signing up for a course that is a provider or authorized provider, that you're giving them your Ptin so they can actually track it for you in the back end, okay? So this is what the Ptin system looks like, and you need your prepared tax identification number if you are preparing taxes for money, for compensation, right? And so the next thing that you're going to need is a Efin. This is your electronic filing identification number. This number is super important because this is the number that you are going to utilize and actually submit electronically tax returns to the Internal Revenue Service. So if you don't have your Efin, your electronic filing identification number, you cannot submit tax returns electronically. And if you can submit tax returns electronically, unfortunately, you're going to have to mail them in, right? And the IRS doesn't like that, and your clients are going to like that. So you want to apply for this Efin so you can prepare your taxes through your tax software and you can submit everything electronically. Now, this step is a little bit more difficult than your Ptin. Your Ptin, you guys can do that right after this video if you already haven't done so. It literally takes only about 15 minutes. Your Efin, on the other hand, it's a whole nother animal. So let's look at this for a second. Let's reshare my screen and let's look at the Efin. Okay, so this is become an authorized e-file provider. So what you can do to get to this page, I just typed in Efin in Google search and bam, it comes right up. It's the first search result. So it says join our partnership and save money, increase your productivity, and build your business while providing a service the majority of taxpayers now expect, which is e-filing, right? So it says more than 1 billion tax returns has been e-filed since 1990, and nearly 90% of all individual federal returns are now e-filed, right? So it's 3 steps to get your electronic filing identification number. Step 1, you want to create an e-services account. Step 2, you want to submit your application. And step 3, you want to pass a suitability check. This is what scares people the most, right? So step 1 is creating your e-services account. So right here, you're actually going to, answer some identifying questions so they can verify you. So in order for the IRS to verify you, you need to have your email address, your social security number, your filing status, and address of your last filed tax return. So you have to pull up your last filed tax return. What address did you use to file that tax return, and what filing status did you use when you filed your tax return, right? Did you file head of household, single, married filing jointly, married filing single, or qualifying widow or widower? You will need to identify a personal account number. So the IRS recently started doing this, I believe, just a few short years ago, because when I applied for my EFIN, I don't remember having to do that part. But because it's so much fraud now, right? They have to take extra steps to verify you as a person to make sure you are the correct person applying for this. So you need to have a personal account number, right? You need to have a credit card number, a home mortgage loan, a home equity second mortgage loan, or a home equity line of credit, or a car loan. Now, this is the big question I always get. People be like, well, Krista, I don't got any of that. I don't got a credit card. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car loan, right? Well, how do I verify myself? And that is a really great question. Okay, so here is what they're saying. They're saying that you can be authenticated over the phone. So if you do not have a loan, if you don't have one of those loan numbers, you can't authenticate yourself by phone. So you can actually call the e-services help desk. So it says you would need access to your email and your most recent and prior year tax returns, as well as documents such as information returns and associated schedules. So they're going to go through your tax return. They're going to be asking you questions from your tax return. So you want to make sure that you have that handy. It says, can I skip the online process and call the e-help desk to authenticate? They prefer for you to go through the identification process online. However, obviously, again, not everybody has these very specific account numbers to be identified. So you can call the e-services help desk. Okay, so let me just Google the e-services. So I'm going to type in e-services help desk. And this is the number that you want to actually call to be authenticated over the phone. Okay, so right here, e-help desk toll-free number is 1-866-255-0654, and they are open Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so this is, if you're one of those people that are like, I don't have any of those loan numbers, then you have to authenticate yourself over the phone. Okay, perfect. So the second thing that you have to do with this process is to actually submit your application to become an authorized e-file provider. So once you actually go and you sign up for your e-services account, you're actually going to start a new application to be an e-file provider. And they're going to ask you a ton of information. You're going to go through all of these steps to type in that information, such as your name, your business name. Again, you don't need to be incorporated as a business to get your EFIN. You can be just a sole proprietor using and doing business as your name as a sole proprietor, okay? Because that's another common question that I get. Once you actually submit your application to become an e-file provider, you must be fingerprinted by a trained professional. So your local police station will likely provide this service for a modest fee, or there are commercial services. And actually, one of my clients told me that she went to the postal office and they actually fingerprinted her at the postal office. So what you want to do, you want to call the Internal Revenue Service at this number, this 866, and actually is that the same e-file? Yeah, so you want to call the e-help desk toll-free number, and you want to request a fingerprint card to be mailed to you. Please do this as soon as possible, right? Because obviously it could take a week for it to get there. And depending on when you're doing this, you don't know what else is going on with the postal service. So you don't want to delay this process. You want to call this number, which is the e-help desk for tax professionals, and request a fingerprint card to be sent to you. You're going to get this fingerprint card in the mail. You're going to take this fingerprint card to your local police station, or like I said, any other commercial services. You probably can Google, let's see, get fingerprinted near me. It already pre-filled. So yeah, and so these are other commercial services that will do it for you. So A1 Fingerprints of Michigan came up for me, Apple Screening, and then the UPS store, okay? So there are other places that you can get fingerprinted. I got fingerprinted at my local police station. It was, they sent me to the downtown Detroit location, and I got fingerprinted there. And it was no line, obviously, because people aren't willingly going to the police station to get fingerprinted. I walked right in and I walked right back out. So you're going to take this fingerprinted card. So the officer or the commercial person is actually going to take your finger on the black ink, and they're going to stamp your finger on the fingerprint card. You're going to take this card and you're going to mail it to this mailing address. And the mailing address is here. So it's 310 Lowell Street, stop 983, EFU acceptance testing, Andover, Massachusetts, 01810, right? Bam, your application is complete. Now, all you have to do is wait, okay? It does take the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, 45 days to process your application. And depending on when you apply, it could be longer, right? So don't wait to do this. Most people wait to do this in December, and then they freak out because they can't do taxes because they still don't have their EFIN, and now it's January, right? Now, after you submit your application and related documents, the IRS will conduct what's called a suitability check on the firm and each person listed on your application. So what they're going to be looking for, they're going to look at your credit, they're going to look at your tax compliance, your criminal background check, and they're going to see if you have any non-compliance with the Internal Revenue Service. So again, you cannot, be willfully neglectful with your own taxes and owe the Internal Revenue Service and not be on some sort of payment plan. You can't, have a criminal background check and maybe white collar fraud or anything like that. They're going to look at all of that and look at your credit to see if you are a suitable candidate. Now, most people that I know get approved, so you don't really have to freak out about this part. But again, if you do have those little, blemishes on your history, on your, criminal history, felonies, or even with your own tax situation, I would just say, try to clear up as much as possible and still go for the application process. But obviously, do realize that they're going to do a thorough check because they do have your fingerprints, right? They're going to definitely do a thorough check on you. So that's it, guys. With the EFIN and the Ptin, you do need both if you are preparing to offer tax services as a service, right, for the 2020 tax season. So if you have any questions about this, or if you have any other ideas on videos that you think, you might want me to come up with to help you guys, drop your comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next training video. Bye, guys.